Few recent WrestleMania moments were more shocking than Chris Jericho besting AJ Styles in their one-on-one affair at WrestleMania 32. After all, this marked AJ Styles' first ever appearance on the grand stage. He should have been in line for an easy win, but that proved not to be the case. The loss didn't at all hinder the Phenomenal One's momentum. However, it will be a glaring blemish on his WrestleMania record forever. If history has taught us anything, it's that Styles is far from the first superstar to come up short in their WrestleMania debut when they should have won, and he won't be the last. I'm Gareth from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 wrestlers that shouldn't have lost their WrestleMania debuts. Number 12, Booker T. In the midst of a failed invasion angle in the summer of 2001, Booker T was one of the few major names from WCW to jump ship to WWE. Although he remained over with the audience, his stock within the company had dropped significantly by WrestleMania 18, his first ever as it goes. On a show stacked with star power from the returning Triple H, Hulk Hogan and The Rock, it came as no surprise that Booker found himself on the undercard against an up-and-coming Edge. They contested a competent match over a shampoo commercial, and it was a big singles win for Edge in his Mania singles bout. But the 6-minute affair didn't exactly benefit Booker. He spent the better part of that year working his way back up the card, before gaining enough traction to establish himself as a main event player. Sadly, he was then squashed by Triple H the following year at WrestleMania 19 in a World Heavyweight Championship match. Bigger stage, same result. Number 11, Sheamus. Within a matter of months, Sheamus conquered the ECW brand, retired Jamie Noble, and beat John Cena for the WWE Championship, becoming the first ever Irish-born WWE champion in history. Sadly, he embarked on a rather weak reign as WWE champion over the next several months before dropping the strap back to Super Cena at 2010's Elimination Chamber event. Shortly thereafter, he kicked off an intriguing feud with Triple H going into WrestleMania 26. This was surely the perfect chance for Sheamus to score a meaningful victory at his first ever WrestleMania, right? Their match was largely solid, but he was decisively defeated by the King of Kings, and the Celtic Warrior came out of the contest looking incompetent when it mattered the most. That was WWE's chance to make a star out of the fella that was Sheamus, and they failed catastrophically. Number 10, Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura's buzz was still somewhat intact coming out of his heroic Royal Rumble win in 2018. He'd stagnated ever so slightly after his initial debut on the main roster in 2017, and his feuds with the likes of Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, and then WWE champion Jinder Mahal didn't deliver quite the same Nakamura we'd witnessed in NXT and New Japan Pro Wrestling. However, a dream match victory over AJ Styles for the WWE Championship in a rematch of their iconic Wrestle Kingdom showdown at WrestleMania 34 would have without a shadow of a doubt been enough to salvage him as one of the main roster's top-tier talents. Yet, in the most dissatisfying of swerves, the pair were handcuffed and produced an underwhelming contest at the Show of Shows, which Nakamura eventually lost. His heel turn afterwards can also clearly be marked as the beginning of the end of all main event credibility for Nakamura in WWE, and he hasn't really recovered his aura in the company since that fateful night in New Orleans. Number 9, Big Show. Big Show made his explosive debut at February's St. Valentine's Day Massacre pay-per-view and busted through the ring mat attempting to help Mr. McMahon beat Stone Cold Steve Austin, immediately capturing the attention of every single fan just due to his sheer size. He was huge. 1 month removed from his shocking WWE debut, he faced Mankind at WrestleMania 15 to determine who would serve as the special guest referee for the main event between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. The bout lasted just 6 minutes before ending in disqualification as Mankind was awarded the victory. With Big Show then attacking him afterwards, Mankind didn't actually serve as the special guest referee in the main event regardless, deeming the entire WrestleMania match worthless and a massive waste of the hulking giant's talents. Number 8, Jerry Lawler. It's almost unbelievable that prior to 2011, Jerry Lawler had never competed in a match at WrestleMania. He made it quite clear at the close of 2010 that his two biggest career goals were to win the WWE Championship and wrestle at WrestleMania, and after falling short of capturing the big one at Elimination Chamber 2011, the only thing left to do was to make his Mania in-ring debut. There were rumblings that Lawler might actually have a match with Alex Riley, the protege of his arch nemesis The Miz at the time, and although that doesn't sound like a WrestleMania caliber contest on paper, it would have been a bit more of an improvement on what we actually got. Jerry Lawler versus Michael Cole. Yep. Despite WWE's best efforts to make the match must-see by appointing Stone Cold Steve Austin the special guest referee and putting Jack Swagger in Cole's corner, it was a total train wreck and ultimately a massive waste of half an hour. To top it all off, Lawler lost the bout by disqualification when the anonymous Raw general manager reversed the decision, thus keeping the feud alive for a while longer. 2011 is not missed. No, not at all. Number 7, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was initially set to make his WrestleMania debut at Mania 27 in a United States Championship match with Sheamus. But the bout was relegated to being a dark match, never to be seen by anyone but the live crowd. In a strange twist of fate, the two found each other in a WrestleMania match against each other the following year as well, this time for the World Heavyweight Championship. So there was no chance that this one was going to get shoved onto the pre-show. Nope, not a chance. And it wasn't, but the match was over in a whopping 18 seconds after Sheamus blindsided Bryan with a bro kick to score the victory and his first ever World Heavyweight Championship. Then again, it did serve as the catalyst to the ever popular Yes chant that was in full force at WrestleMania in Miami, making it a bit hard to rank this injustice much higher, to be honest. Number 6, Triple H. How ironic that Triple H was himself the victim of a burial on the grandest stage of them all way back in 1996. You know what? That's what you get. That's what you get, man. Karma. Mere months removed from his highly touted WWE debut, Hunter Hearst Helmsley found himself in a prominent spot on the WrestleMania 12 card against the returning Ultimate Warrior. It was the ultimate opportunity for WWE to make a star out of the future cerebral assassin, even in defeat. But Warrior refused to give Triple H any offense whatsoever, resulting in a squash match that lasted all of a minute and a half. Warrior was gone from the company a short while later, and Triple H was bounced all the way back down the card. Any momentum he had going up to that point went to waste, but as fans soon realised, the career of the King of Kings would pan out just fine, wouldn't it? Still, that being said, it was a pretty crappy way of debuting at the show of shows, so I feel a bit bad now. Number 5, AJ Styles. There was always a fear amongst fans that outsider stars such as AJ Styles wouldn't be as well utilised by WWE as they deserve to be. But that was far from the case with the phenomenal one. Upon arrival, he quickly contested a number of Match of the Year candidates against the likes of Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens and The New Day, and he's also amassed 2 WWE title reigns in his tenure to date. However, back at WrestleMania 32, his first ever show of shows, a renewal of his rivalry with Y2J was a logical addition to a pretty stacked card. Slotted second on the show, they put on a wrestling clinic that was among the best bouts of the event. A victory for Styles in his premiere WrestleMania seemed predictable, which is why his loss to Y2J came as such a surprise to many viewers, myself included. Although he rebounded in a big way the next night on Raw by becoming the new #1 contender to the then WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the record books will forever show that the legendary AJ Styles came up short in his first ever WrestleMania match. Number 4, Ryback. On the post-WrestleMania 28 edition of SmackDown, Ryback wrestled his first match back following a layoff due to injury. The former Skip Sheffield debuted an all-new Feed Me More gimmick that gradually led to him becoming one of the most organically over babyfaces by the fall. Shortcomings at the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber hindered his hot momentum considerably, but if there was any way for Ryback to get his career back on track, it was by beating Mark Henry in his WrestleMania debut. WWE built up the bout fairly well, but it was painfully apparent during the match itself that they had zero in-ring chemistry, and the result was a mediocre match at best. And to make matters that little bit worse, Ryback lost clean when Henry fell on top of him for the 3 count. The big guy hit the shell-shocked on Henry afterwards for a fairly impressive visual, but it was all for naught. It didn't really do much else after that, to be honest. Number 3, Bray Wyatt. Many were skeptical about the idea of putting Bray Wyatt in the ring with John Cena at WrestleMania 30, so soon after his debut. There was no doubt that he deserved to be in a high-profile match at WrestleMania, but the real question was whether they would allow him to score a career-defining victory on the grandest stage. The match wasn't as atrocious as some of the aforementioned encounters on this list, but it fell way below expectations. Although Wyatt had his faithful followers Luke Harper and Eric Rowan in his corner, they proved to be non-factors in the finish. Cena fended them off before planting the Eater of Worlds with an attitude adjustment for the clean win. Granted, he did defeat John Cena in their steel cage rematch at Extreme Rules, but only after an excessive amount of interference from the Wyatt family. After their Mania clash, Wyatt just didn't have the same aura about him that he did before he ran into the roadblock that was Cena, and it was only in 2019, after he donned his fiendish alter ego, that he started to re-establish himself as a legitimate paranormal threat. Once again. Number 2, Asuka. In 2017, then NXT Women's Champion, Asuka was enjoying an indomitable run as the brand's unstoppable commodity. As was always going to be the case, she was eventually called up to the main roster, back when that was still seen as a promotion, and proceeded to sustain that level of dominance, keeping her undefeated streak in pristine condition. Things seemed to be going to plan when Asuka went on to win the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble in 2018, and eventually locked her eyes onto Charlotte Flair's SmackDown Live Women's title. The match was always going to be a classic, and all logic pointed to an Asuka victory on the night, right? Did Charlotte Flair really need another big victory on the grandest stage? Asuka walked into WrestleMania 34, her first WrestleMania, as a force of nature, seemingly insurmountable, and this aura could have been built on for months, maybe even years to come. Yet she walked out as just one more star let down by WWE's short-sighted booking. It was so easy, Vince. She was undefeated. Ugh. Number 1, Sting. Seeing Sting step inside of a WWE ring for the very first time at Survivor Series in 2014 was nothing short of surreal, and his premiere WWE match was inevitable. It appeared he had a ready-made feud with Triple H for WrestleMania 31, and in the months preceding the pay-per-view, they both did an excellent job of getting fans excited for the marquee matchup. In the end, it was more a spectacle than it was a true wrestling match between the pair, but it was the controversial outcome that left fans in disbelief. Following a sledgehammer shot to the skull of Sting, Triple H covered him for the win. Now, Sting noted in his 2015 WWE-produced documentary that he thought that this would be his swan song in the ring, and thus wanted to go out the noble way by doing the honors to Triple H. But it wasn't, as it turned out. He wrestled for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Night of Champions in a losing effort versus Seth Rollins before announcing his retirement at the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. It might not have been so bad had he not embraced his heated rival afterwards, rendering all of that bad blood up to that point irrelevant. In so many words, there was just no logic behind Triple H winning at WrestleMania, other than for WWE to hammer home that WCW lost the Monday Night War and stroke their own ego, which is probably enough logic for Vince McMahon, I suppose. And that's our list. Know of any other wrestlers who shouldn't have lost their WrestleMania debuts? Let me know all about them in the comments section below. And also, why not head over to whatculture.com and click on some more incredible articles just like this one. They're great, give them a read. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. I hope you're having an incredible day because you deserve it, and I'll see you soon.
Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, here to let you know we want your live event videos, whether that be something that happened after the cameras stopped rolling, or your reaction to something amazing that went down at the show you were at. Stuff like this.
One of the other sweetest things I've ever seen was just recently when we saw Roman Reigns kick the shit out of cancer and come back on Monday Night Raw.
So make sure you send them to us in all the usual ways. You can tweet them at us, you can send them to us on Facebook, you can email them to us. Hell, if it's your sort of thing, you can stick them on a memory stick and post them to What Culture. But the one thing you need to remember is good, bad. Thanks for watching. Bye.